age-old question. I'm a pro athlete. How do I get more paid deals? How do I get more marketing deals? How do I get more opportunities off the field? What are your top 3 tips for pro athletes for earning more opportunities off the field?
Yeah, so loaded question, a question that I get a lot. And I think the first that I have to start with, because it is an obvious answer and it's something I'll always stick with, being a former athlete, being married to an athlete, I get what it takes to be in the forefront. And I think just being the best, obviously, is very helpful, and being at the highest level at your game is super helpful. But I do think that there are other key elements that can really help you build your brand off the field and monetize that brand. And I think one of the biggest ones is having a plan. I think so many guys come across a huge viral moment or a Super Bowl championship, and maybe they're not prepared with the resources or questions or game plan in place to go out and capitalize on that big moment. And they try and capitalize 6 months down the road once they've hired a marketing rep or hired a videographer or hired a social manager. So I think that putting a game plan and having something in place before those big moments could potentially happen is so crucial. I think like a great example is a guy who is a kicker, and he's like, oh, like, kickers are people too. We don't really make money off the field. Like, that's a lie. Like, you could be the kicker in Philly and you hit the game winner, and that moment, like, you're gaining 60,000 followers overnight. You should have something prepared and have a game plan in place for that next morning. I know that's like hard to predict, but it's just a matter of having a game plan in place, or your team having a game plan in place for when those big moments happen. Who are the brands you're going to target? You're going to your agent or your rep and telling them, like, this is what I want to try and hit when a big moment happens. So I think the second one is having a game plan. And what was the third? What did I say?
I think it's got something to do with passion, or finding your niche, right?
Having a niche, right? So I think this is super important. Guys, like a perfect example is a Max Homa. You may have not known who Max Homa was 2 years ago. I knew who he was because I love golf, but him building his brand on Twitter as the funny guy who's the swing critic and making fun of people has completely accelerated his brand in a fast-paced way. There's guys who, Trevor Bauer, for example, like, anybody who knows baseball knows that he's a stud on the mound. But now he's building his brand off the field as this vocal businessman, a content creator. There's so many different things that you can get involved with or like have an interest in, but like, if you're not putting it out there, it's something that I work with my own husband with, him being a baseball player, and no one knew how weirdly obsessed he was with swings like that.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, he's like a swing guru, and everyone is texting him and asking him questions about a swing. And so I finally got him to start sharing that, start posting about that. And now people know, like, people want to talk to him about it. People want to follow him about it. So I think finding a niche, having a game plan, and obviously being at the top of your game is super important as well.
All right, I hear you, and I'm going to double down. I'll just say that the top 3 ways to earn opportunities off the field, according to Jacquelyn Dahl, and this is just a willy-nilly conversation, but the top 3 ways for pro athletes to earn more off the field: number 1, be super good at the sport in which you play. It makes a lot of sense, and it always will. It carries a lot of weight and value and marketing opportunities. Number 2 is have a game plan. Know when the moment's coming, that when the moment comes that you cannot predict, that you have a team around you to support you and carry you through and turn all those eyeballs into an audience that lasts. And number 3, have a niche, have a passion, something that you truly care about and want to tell others about. Double down on it, triple down on it, and build up an audience that knows you for a reason beyond your specialty, like beyond what you do in number 1 and having the on-field success. So 1, 2, and 3, I get it. I dig it.